Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
That's right, baby.
Baby, we got a review.
Ooh.
We got a 5-star review, number 169.
Nice. This review mastered absolute 169.
Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude. This review came through a comment on someone's Twitch stream.
Yeah.
From X Straight Edge 818X. Love it. Oh, God, it reminds me of like 2001.
It's just missing the little tilde
Yes.
like squiggles. And
or I need
like
like two bigger X's too, so it's like X,
Yeah.
X. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like a hyphen and then listening to
Oh,
My
my
Chemical
God.
Romance. MSN Messenger shout out for anyone that remembers that.
It's got a real The Batman vibe going on.
Oh,
Wait, well,
Patreon this
subscribe.
week. Yeah. Something in the way.
They go on to say, Dr. DC Podcast. It's a really great and silly podcast where you learn about DC Comics and lore. Fun times and jokes. Safe for streamers to play on stream, but kinda adult. 5 stars. I mean, kinda. Stretching it.
Challenge accepted.
I mean, kinda adult in both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, level of maturity and also
Content.
the rating of the
yeah.
content. Yeah.
Sweet, dude.
Tight.
Oh, yo, so sweet, dude. So fucking tight.
Just generic New York adjacent accent.
Oh, yeah, dude.
What are you in the Batman?
Oh,
Subscribe on Patreon.
No.
Come on.
Come on. Spill my cup of gravy.
Hey, penguin.
Best of the sauce is penguin.
I will say I'm laughing at this. It's not necessarily a negative. I'll talk about it in the double this week.
Subscribe.
Really hitting that hard this week.
Oh, yeah, baby. Speaking of hitting it hard,
It just hits different.
I got 2 backseat Julius squeezers I want to talk about this week.
Good Lord.
Nightwing.
Yeah, we got so many questions when we did our thick Grayson episode.
Yeah.
What else could we, this? Yeah, the second half here could call it more like Butthaven. Am I right?
Nice.
I mean, the episode's definitely going to be called more like Butthaven. Am I right now?
Yeah. AMIRIGHT.
Yeah.
Or no, ITE.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the solution.
Yeah.
The final one.
No. Uh-oh.
That's right. We're doing a second half of the Nightwing because there were so many goddamn questions.
Yeah, because people like talking about dick.
People love dick in their ears.
So we're going to dick you down.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a double dick. So why don't we get to those questions?
Do you have headphones in? Looks like you're getting Eiffel Towered by Dick Talk.
Oh, yeah. One in each hole.
Yeah, one in each ear, baby. And
That's
they're
what I said.
high-fiving over top of your head.
High-fiving.
Oh. Yeah, that's what high five stands for. High fidelity vibing.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
High five.
Holy shit. I had no idea.
Has nothing to do with the number of fingers you may or may not have.
You're ruining it. Let's go over to Twitter.
Something in the way.
With the lips of an angel.
It's like looking at video of Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
My girl's in the next room.
My butler's in the next room. Sometimes I wish he was you.
Oh, no. What was that, Master Wayne? Nothing, Alfred. Just nothing.
It's like we never
Don't
moved
come
on.
in.
I'm vacuuming. Vacuuming. Let's go to Twitter.
That's Twitter.
First question. We're getting there. First question comes from our favorite religious representative,
Chris Chan.
That's right. Who asks, was there an implied sexual message when Bill Finger and Jerry Robinson named him Dick back in 1940? Perhaps Dick was slang for something else back then, but surely its sexual connotation existed as well.
I mean,
Richard has been the short form for Dick for a very long time.
other way around, but yes.
Yes. Richard has been the long form of Dick.
Since time immemorial.
Yeah, you know you get a long form version of your name?
Oh.
Reedathan?
No.
Reedchard?
That's like our ship name.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Reedanen?
I mean, that sounds like Finnish. I sound like a Finnish Formula One driver.
Here comes Reedanen.
Yeah, that's Hockey Reedanen coming around the lap 64. He'll have to pit again before the end of the race. Yeah, I mean, listen, did people call penises dicks in the 40s? Maybe. I truly don't know. That's a great question. But also, do we think they were being like, we're making this character for kids so kids will read comics? Wouldn't it be funny if we named him Penis?
If his name was
I think that's like a bit of a stretch.
If it was like Dick Mouthson or something, that would be funnier. But like,
I think it's a stretch to think that was
implied. Yeah.
Have people implied anything with it since then? Probably. But, in its conception, I guess I can't speak for them, but like that would surprise me, I think, to learn that they were like, we're doing this on purpose,
Yes.
However, to part of this thing, Dick did mean something else, and it's actually a Marvel meme that comes up a lot. Now, I have not like looked into the veracity of this thing, but there's like a panel of must be Avengers or something. And it's like Iron Man talking to Captain America or something. He goes, looks like you need some solid dick from Iron Man or whatever. And I guess the term solid dick means like straight talk. Mm-hmm. But now it's just a panel of Iron Man saying you need some solid dick to Captain America, which is pretty funny. But so, dick has meant different things. I think, are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up just because out of curiosity.
Sorry, which part are you looking up? Whether or not
Dick
they
penis.
implied it or if they used it in that way in the 40s.
Dick penis is what I was asking.
You just typed dick penis into Google?
Yeah.
What's the first result?
I don't want to say. So what I did get was in 1869, Slang Dictionary offered definitions of dick, including a riding whip. Nice. And an abbreviation of dictionary, also noting that the North Country, it was used as a verb to indicate that policeman was eyeing the subject. A dick.
Right.
Yeah. The term came associated with penis through usage by men in the military around the 1880s.
Okay.
The usage of dick as referred to a contemptible or despicable person was the 1960s. But like the actual offensiveness of the term, getting its like becoming actual like slang terminology and used for being like offensive wasn't like registered until 1994.
Right, but we're saying like as of the 60s, people might say like that guy's a dick. And mean it kind of that way.
Yeah, but
people might have been like, I got my dick in my hand as early as the 1880s.
Yes, but I think it was probably more well known as a short form for Richard.
And probably still for, like the police, like the private dick, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fun for us to go and we can make fun of that if we want, like now. But yeah, I think it's a stretch to put that on Bill Finger and
though with a name like Bill Finger, maybe he was.
Oh.
Or he was just like, not another joke name. I'm going to choose something safe.
Yeah.
Not gonna make.
I changed my name. I was originally William Shocker.
You know what's really interesting is that like finger is also used as a term for like detecting as a police. Like I fingered the perp.
Finger the
so
perp.
it's weird that dick is also that.
Well, it's because the police always fuck us.
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah.
Boom. What, you thought I was gonna get political?
Hot take.
Come at me, cops.
I mean, they can.
I mean, we give out our mailing address at the end of every
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Oh no.
All right. Next question comes from Alexander the Alex, who says, Dick Grayson is the best comic book character, period. His supporting cast, whether it's Bat Family or Titans, why doesn't Dan Didio understand this? I read it initially as Dan Dildo, and I was like, all right, what's going on here?
Bill Finger.
Dan Dildo.
Dick
Grayson. I was like, someone's fucking with me.
Whoa, who fucking tonight?
Oh, yeah. Who let the cows out? Moo.
There is this sort of
moo.
thing out there that's not 100% untrue, but that like Dan DiDio did not like Dick Grayson or
Really?
Wally West as characters. I've read a few different things. You can decide for yourselves at home how much you believe them, but there's definitely at least one interview with Dan DiDio where he's like he had some thoughts about Dick Grayson and Wally West as characters and things he didn't like about how they worked as legacy characters. Yeah. And then that kind of got, the fans kind of took that to be like, he hates them. And then in this interview, DiDio's like, as soon as they started saying that, it kind of just like
was funny.
I kind of just leaned it. Like he was playing the heel a bit. Now, easy to say that too.
In hindsight,
you know. But there's something kind of funny about the idea that he's just like, yeah, I hate them. Or he just like play it up.
I would never do something like that.
Yeah, right. I read a bit more of this one interview where he was saying stuff like that, and he was saying he tried to articulate what his issues were with kind of like those, specifically those couple of legacy characters. His issue with Wally, as he put it, was that he felt like Wally couldn't be his own character because his origin is like 100% tied to Barry. Mm-hmm. That he's like Barry's nephew. He idolizes Barry. He literally recreates the experiment that made Barry the Flash to become the Flash.
Sure.
So he's, no matter what he does, he's intrinsically tied to that. So then when they got to the New 52, it's like, well, if we're making a new jumping on point, we do it with Barry. Because he's the, that was his idea. Now, whether or not you agree with that, like, I don't agree with that. Like, there's a way you can figure it out.
Sure.
It's a little lazy, but even though I'm a Barry guy. But that was his kind of reasoning. The thing with Dick Grayson is he was saying that, like, people like Dick because they, like, grew up with him. Same with Wally, right? Like, they aged, not, like, 1-to-1, but they kind of aged with the characters over time. Sure, yeah. But at a certain point, people like Bruce and Barry don't age. So now what happens is the thing that you like about these next generation characters that they do keep progressing. So now they have to, like, either in literal age or in life achievement or something, they have to eclipse their mentors, which doesn't make sense, or you kill the mentors, which obviously is never going to stick forever. You know what I mean? Like, so his point was, at a certain point, like, maybe Dick Grayson's more trouble than he's worth. Again, I don't agree, but that was him articulating his point. And if you're a fan of Dick Grayson, it would obviously be frustrating to have someone like that steering the ship at DC. Yeah. There was even a thing where, like, they were going to kill him in Infinite Crisis. They ultimately didn't. Yeah. That became Con-El. Superboy died. But they were going to kill Dick Grayson, and his thing was, like, the Trinity kind of splits up at the beginning of Infinite Crisis. They don't trust each other. They're, like, at odds. They split up. And they were like, we need something to happen to bring them back together again to, in this event.
Yeah, so you got to stab Agent Coulson.
Kind of, right? It was his point.
Yeah.
And he was like, Dick Grayson is like a beloved character known throughout the universe that could feasibly have like enough emotional connection to each of them that it brings them back together. And he was like, he cited like in Crisis on Infinite Earths, They killed Barry Allen. They killed Kara Zor-El. Massive characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there's a part of me that's like, I kind of get it, but also like you can make those kind of arguments for all sorts of things, or you can make the counter arguments. So it's still, whether you can reason it well or not, it comes down to a personal preference thing. And DiDio just, that those weren't his characters. He loved weird shit, which is why he always pointed in the New 52 to the idea of like, we launched like a Mr. Terrific title and a whatever title. It's like, yeah, a bunch of them flopped, but like we did it. That's cooler than, you know what I mean? Like he likes Phantom Stranger and OMAC and Challengers and the Forever People. Like he's got such like a weird love for all of those kind of like side characters. So yeah. Ultimately, do I think DiDio hates Dick Grayson? No. Does he care about him? Probably not really.
Yeah.
Doesn't really seem to be like where he lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like Dick Grayson, that would be super frustrating.
For sure.
Right.
All right, let's go away from Twitter and into Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram. Take some questions and answer them. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Dice. Weird energy.
I'm in a weird mood. First question from Instagram comes from MattDB85, who asks, if Dick were to either retire from crime fighting or take over as Batman forever, do you think someone should take up the mask as Nightwing? If so, who do you think should be the next Nightwing?
That's interesting. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I always have a hard time with like legacy costumes and like mantles and stuff. Like I never love when other people take up things. Like there's a few exceptions of that, of course.
Right.
But I would much rather like a character do its own thing. I mean, we talked about that with Batman all the time, right? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly a thing that, like, I mean, of those options, I'd rather see Dick retire than become Batman permanently. You know what I mean? Like, I feel the same way certainly about Dick, you know?
Yeah. It's the same thing with like, even when they've done it with Superman, like I never really like that. Like it's not what I'm looking for. I like the mentality or like a temporary effort of that, but I don't like want that like long term in any sort of way. I would say, I can't think of anybody that I would want to take on that mantle. And if there was somebody, it would probably be somebody that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, the in the way that people may want Dick to be Batman because he was the first Robin, the longest serving. You know, he's like the longest serving ally of Batman. You know, if you're going by those rules, then theoretically the person doing that for Nightwing has to be suitably close to him as well, which pretty much only leaves Damian.
Sure, yeah.
But do I think Damian would be a good Nightwing? No.
But also, like, what makes a good Nightwing? Like,
well, but this is, I think you have to be you're kind of like the counter Batman, right? You know, that's the piece we certainly talked about the last time we were talking about him and things like that. The reason that he works, that we kind of don't want him to be Batman is that like he's better than Batman.
Yeah.
And that Nightwing symbolizes that. Do I think Damian is better than that? Not really. I don't even really want to see Damian as Batman. But
I'd rather him as Batman than Nightwing.
Of the two.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then you got to cast the net like wider, right? Like, is it like a random Titan? Is it is it just like someone in Bloodhaven? Like maybe it's a thing where it's like, you know, Nightwing retires and then there's no Nightwing, and there's that sort of like Tim Drake of a thing where someone goes like,
there needs to be a Nightwing.
Bloodhaven needs a Nightwing.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then maybe just
I would rather that.
I like that idea where someone's just inspired, because then that also reinforces the thing that makes Nightwing great. And it's not like when Tim Drake became Robin, he was like, if I don't do this, Batman will kill someone or himself.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty fucked up reason for a child to join a war on crime.
Of all of the reasons a child can join a war
the
on
Nightwing
crime
thing should be more like the idea that it's like he's gone for a bit and then someone's like, well, but why can't I step up, right?
Sure,
he showed us that like we can look out for each other. Like the positive thing, the thing that Batman can do. I shouldn't say that Batman is like devoid of being a symbol of hope or things like that, because that's not true either. But Dick is better at it. And I think that would be a cool way to do it. So like, I don't think I can name a character because it would be neat if it was just someone. In the way that I fucking wish, like Ray was no one in the sequel trilogy. It would be awesome if Nightwing became this sort of like, this is the wrong word for it, but it was like a democratized kind of superhero. You don't have to be the first ally. You don't have to be like earn your way through the trials of the bat or whatever. It's just like, if you have the heart and the good intention and the desire, like you and the city will find a way to make you Nightwing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like something a little more democratic like that.
Sure.
It's not like a birthright. It's there's something I kind of like about that.
For sure. Next question comes from Delgado Andrew, who asks, could you talk about Dick's role as the heart of the DCU, such as he once was? This is
not a thing that comes up.
Okay.
Dick is referred to a few times, and very specifically in Infinite Crisis it comes up a couple of times. He's referred to as like the heart and soul of the DC universe. So in Infinite Crisis, the basic premise for anyone who's not sure is 20 years earlier in publishing, like in our world, Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, and the entire multiverse was reduced to one Earth, one timeline.
Yeah.
Infinite Crisis, it kind of expands back out again into a multiverse.
Yeah.
And part of the mechanism of that is a few of the survivors of the original Crisis, including Earth 2, Superman and Lois, Earth Prime, Superboy, who becomes Superboy Prime, and Earth 3, Alexander Luthor Jr., had survived in like a paradise dimension. That happens at the end of the first Crisis. And in Infinite Crisis, Alexander Luthor Jr. convinces them that the reason that the world is getting so dark, which is like a comment on like the 90s-ification of 80s and 90s of comics. The reason it's so dark is that they built the one universe on the wrong foundation. So they need to remake the multiverse to find the right Earth so they can build a paradise.
Sure.
Is the premise. And so Earth 2 Superman is even going along with it. Like he fights Superman and stuff, and he's like, he goes and meets Batman or whatever, and they're having a conversation, and he's like, your world is like horrible, like the way you people treat each other. What's happened to you? You got your back broken. Like my counterpart died. Like what happened to Ollie? What happened to Diana? All this shit is brutal. Like how could you think this is fine? And Batman's retort to him is, on your Earth, is your Dick Grayson better than ours? And he goes, no.
Interesting.
And he's like, he's referred to in a few comics, even up in the Rebirth era, as like the multiversal constant.
Yes, that's right. We've talked about this before.
That's not to say that there's not a world out there where there's like a bad boy. You know what I mean? He's not like incorruptible or whatever in every universe. But he's a kind of like North Star a little bit in terms of like, even when the main Earth gets darker, he's still mostly the way he was. And when it gets lighter again, he's still mostly the way he was. He's kind of immune to the big swings in tone. And that's accidental, but now the comics or not even accidental, it's just like incidental. But now the comics
or like
recognize it and call it back, and they go like, he's important. Which I think is another reason why someone like DiDio is like, if we want to, it's the 20th anniversary of Crisis, we're doing a new Crisis, and we want a moment of impact of a character dying like in Crisis. It's not outrageous to look at Dick and go, it's him. I mean, to imagine a universe without Dick is kind of crazy.
You know what I mean.
You know what I mean. But you kind of understand the way the cogs are turning in terms of the planning that way. Yeah. So I mean, so that comes up there. You know, when the new 52 Superman dies and the pre-Flashpoint Superman takes his place, and people are like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "I'm actually from like the way things used to be."
Yeah.
People like Batman's not sure if he can trust him and stuff like that. One of the first people that he kind of like meets up with is Nightwing, and he, you know,
like we talked in the previous episode, they always kind of have like
they've got like an actual friendship,
yeah.
you know, like Nightwing's name comes from
Kryptonian
Kryptonian lore and things like that. So the idea that when you take a character like Superman, who is kind of like sort of like the representative of the DC universe, you know, metatextually and sometimes literally, and you have him say, "You're the constant, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
We can look to you and find our way." Then it's like, well, holy shit.
It's true.
He like it means that in universe, you know, in terms of like the hero community, Dick Grayson is more important than Batman. He's more important than possibly even Superman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Which is why in Forever Evil, when he gets unmasked, that's a like, oh fuck moment, because the Justice League is missing and they unmask Nightwing on like globally on TV, and that's like a fuck.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I like that idea. I don't know that I need him to be like cosmically cemented that way. Like I don't need like a Morrison thing where it's like, oh, and if something happens to him, the whole multiverse falls apart. Like,
donkey.
I don't need that, but I like the idea that like spiritually, philosophically, people feel that way about him. And I think that says a lot about that thing about how he's better than Batman. And it's better that he's gone off and done his own thing as Nightwing. And he's Batman's greatest success when he is Nightwing. If anything, it kind of like diminishes that success if he has to be Batman again.
It's true.
You're sort of like dampening his light.
Yeah, because it's just like, well, but you've got to be Batman. Like,
yeah, it's like restraining his potential as a hero and an inspiration and stuff like that. So
for sure.
It's kind of neat.
All right, next question comes from Multi Sanchez, who asks, has Dick ever taken on a younger hero as a protege or a sidekick as Nightwing?
Well, I want to just come out and say it first. Dick should never take on a younger hero. Let me be clear. It's the official stance of the Dr. DC podcast that younger heroes should not be taken on by Dick. Jesus. Good Lord.
If everyone's consent.
Oh, no.
Continue.
Sorry. So the question is, has he ever had his own like sidekick? So obviously when he was Batman, Damian was his Robin.
Yes.
That's a very standard sidekick scenario.
But that's not as Nightwing.
He's had lots of kind of partnerships as Nightwing. The only one I can think of, and this is from that kind of like 90s run of Nightwing, is there was a guy like, what was his name? Chad? Tad? Something like that.
Okay.
Who was he was kind of like unhinged, but Nightwing didn't know that. But he called himself Nightwing, like NITE dash wing.
Oh, not KN.
No. Like as if it was a drive-through. Spelled drive-through style. He was Nightwing.
Yeah, he's like a cheaper, quicker Nightwing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 24 hours. And he was like a street kid or something like that who like kind of takes the wrong he's like, I can help out, and but he's like super violent and kind of crazy or something like that. But Nightwing works with him and that, and I don't know if we should go so far as to call him a sidekick, but there was a sort of like idea of mentorship or whatever, but like it does not work out.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think Nightwing more has like partners, right? You know, Huntress, Batgirl, Tarantula, you know, Raptor briefly. I think that's usually more of an MO for him.
Yeah.
The closest I can think to a Nightwing sidekick might be Nightwing. I guess Bitewing, if you count an animal sidekick, he's got Bitewing now.
Sure, yeah.
But
not really.
Yeah. It's possible I'm missing one, but that I think that's the kind of Chuck Dixon sort of Nightwing era.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I can think of.
All right. Let's go to the next question from Dan Hummer 97.
Nice. The old Dan Hummer.
Yeah, 97 times.
Oh my God.
Over a lifetime.
Still. Sounds exhausting.
What a lucky lady. And your personality doesn't make up for it.
No, it does not. Richard is aiming my own stand-up comedy bits back at me right now.
If you want to hear more about that, subscribe.
Ooh.
Dan Hummer asks, how do you think the DC universe would have been affected if Dick would have died in Infinite Crisis? So now we've talked about that it was a thing that could have happened.
Right, that it might have happened, yeah. Yeah, what would the fallout of that have been? I mean, interestingly, even though, things have befallen Dick Grayson, looking at you, Rick Grayson, Dick is one character where we've never really had to deal with that. Not for any extended period or that wide out into the universe. You just an arc here or there. Oh, we think he's dead or we can't find him. Or, you know what I mean?
Agent, yeah.
He's an agent or whatever. But like we don't really deal with it, Yeah, that's interesting. What would the fallout of that be? I kind of have a feeling that it would. I mean, a story will do whatever you tell the story to do because we're in control, damn it. But I kind of feel like the opposite of Dan DiDio, where it's like maybe in the moment he dies, it brings the Trinity together. But I have a feeling like the ongoing loss of Dick does not help unify A, the Trinity, or B, some of the rest of the hero community. That's got to be insanely demoralizing. Well, I think the people that can pull through it are the Titans because they're a real kind of family group. They would have to pull through it, but if in the moment Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman were like, oh my God, we have they did it to Dick, and then they stopped
you
the thing.
Bastards,
then when the thing is done, you think they're gonna look at each other and be like,
we really did it.
It's what Dick would want. We'll stay together. Or do you think it would be you kick off the events of 52 where everyone splits up and they're gone for a year, but they don't come back? Or at least Batman, you know what I mean? I wonder if the lasting impact of a truly dead Dick Grayson is way more devastating.
No, it's just a refractory period.
And then Dick's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good refractory period of grief.
Nothing more
grief
sexy.
Factory period.
Oh,
grief factory.
That sounds like your body.
Fuck you. You fucking asshole. I mean that's kind of bleak, but yeah.
I think the fallout is Batman. I mean, if his the one success story of Batman is Dick, and he can always say, at least I had Nightwing, and no matter how many these other fucking kids I pumped through this system, I've always gotten Dick. You just don't give Dick to younger heroes. That's the key.
Yeah, and I think you're right, but I think the difference too is Damian died and Batman went on a fucking rampage, and he was like, I'm putting on the Hellbat armor. I'm going to punch Darkseid in the teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's...
And, Jason died, and he's like, am I going to kill the Joker? And he stops himself, but he's like, I could fucking kill the Joker. But Dick dies, I think Batman just kind of, deflates.
It's because it's none of this was worth it. I lose them all. At least, the first one, he's like, I got the first one right.
Yeah.
To lose that one, he's just I set them all up for failure.
And again, yeah, you're right. It's his greatest success, right? I think that's a deflate. It might end Batman.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like
a revengeance. Yeah.
I think it's just like I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
I think that's the reality.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah. So maybe Superman even loses a little bit of hope.
I mean, certainly in the short term, Superman obviously very resilient, but like it would 100% affect him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the Coulson.
I mean, kind of a knock on Dick Grayson to call him the fucking Coulson, but I know what you mean.
Yes.
But also, Jesus.
Yeah. He's written by a monster. All right. Let's leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit,
Where everyone's nice, no one's ever mean.
Mm-hmm. First question comes from A Cup of Marvel Comics. That's about as many good comics as there is from Marvel, right, my boys?
Come on, man. My issue is that we didn't do it in liters.
A gallon of Marvel comics.
Still Imperial.
Yeah. No, I know that. I liked your sandwich chart of when you use those.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Is it a long way?
Well, yeah, Stump. Yeah, I on the Docsword, I posted this like flow chart of when Canadians use Imperial versus metric because we're this like insane blend because of a bunch of generational confusion.
Yes. Only one place you can find that.
The
Subscribe
one
to our
thing that
Patreon.
was like pretty objectively wrong about it that Stump pointed out, but then we're not sure if it's an Ontario thing or all of Canada.
Sure.
Is that like distances are time. Like that's 30 minutes away.
Oh,
You actually don't say it's that many kilometers or that many miles. You go like, how far is Toronto? And go like, hour and a half.
I mean, that's also true. That is true.
Like that's for like long distances, meaning,
Yeah. I'd say
be like, oh, that's like an 8-hour drive. Like I've never said like, oh, it's 500 kilometers away. I go like, it's 5 hours to get to Montreal.
sure, yeah.
Like, you're just like you're averaging your speed and stuff like that, but you just feel like, it's like 5-6 hours to get there.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Weird. A couple of Marvel Comics asks, does Nightwing like Zatanna? Like, does Dick share lovers with Bruce?
I mean, I hate that phrasing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very vague statement, intentionally so. They share lovers.
Bruce talking to his own penis. Dick, can we share lovers?
No.
Something in the way.
Is that taken over the
Oh yeah, it has a little bit. Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, and you ever go to work out at the gym, but like someone drops stuff and it goes all into your like whey protein powder. There's something in the whey.
Oh boo. Oh, I don't like Oh god. Wow. That was
Sweaty.
That was about 4 hours to get there.
I'm great at stand-up. I crushed on the weekend.
Only one way you're gonna know. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah. What was the question? Oh, right. Do they share
Zatanna.
lovers? Right. First of all, sharing lovers. Gross.
Eiffel Tower.
The
You got it, Dad.
Nightwing and Zatanna thing is really only on Young Justice. Because in Young Justice, they're made to be like the same generation.
Sure, yeah.
Because Zatara and Batman are contemporaries on that show.
And they fuck.
And Batman and Zatara fuck like rabbits.
Yeah, he pulls a fucking rabbit out, that's for sure.
Zatara reaches into his hat and around Batman.
Oh my god, yeah.
And when he wants it to be over, he just goes, muck. Let's come backwards.
Oh.
So it just makes Batman.
Oh, I'm gonna muck.
Muckman.
Oh no.
I knew a guy in grad school who referred to eating pussy as muck and burn.
What?
Just like
What does that even mean?
You're like, oh yeah, I can muck some burn.
What?
Yeah, you'd have muck and burn.
Jesus, I don't even know if I get that. I guess the cock does go in the barn.
I don't know. Yeah, he goes, yeah, muck and burn.
Fucking
He would also say
Northern
stuff like,
Ontario.
I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
That's a thing.
Then he'd just say, like, I muck your burn. I mean, not even say that.
The crackers thing I know.
Yeah, and muck and burn.
No, that's not a phrase.
Um,
It's fucking pickles in a sandwich all over again.
mucking in the barn. So yeah, Nightwing and Zatanna are really only a thing in that sort of Young Justice universe, and they are a thing somewhere between season 1 and season 2. Like they kind of have some chemistry at the end of season 1. They kiss on New Year's Eve at the end of that season. Season 2's 5 years later, and there's someone says like, and we have a bit of history.
Yeah.
Great. And I think maybe there's comics or something that maybe explore that more. But in the main continuity, though, Batman and Zatanna are contemporaries. When Batman is young and traveling the world and learning skills, he goes to Zatara to teach him like escapology and illusion and stuff like that. And Zatanna is his age. So Batman and Zatanna are the same age there. Now, there's little hints that there was like almost a thing, or they had some like near misses. There's like some Detective Comics story where like Zatanna kind of comes out and says like, could this be a thing? And he goes like,
Yeah.
They basically come to the conclusion it's like, no, you're Batman, you're miserable, but I'm always your friend kind of thing. But nothing happens there. But as far as I know, there is no Nightwing Zatanna thing in main continuity, because there's like this comes back to maybe to Dio's point about the weird aging of heroes and stuff, but strictly speaking, she's in like the same age range as Batman and Superman and Black Canary and them. Nightwing is technically one of the younger heroes with Starfire and Batgirl and etc.
For sure. They also share lovers.
I guess in the animated universe, technically, because in the
that's more fucked up though, because that means that Batman is sleeping with a younger woman.
Yes.
That's worse.
This is I will tell you right now, this is canon to the DCAU, like the universe of the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, all those beloved shows, Batman Beyond. Batman had a thing with Barbara Gordon. It's canon in the shows, they reference it, and it's canon in the comics, they talk about it. At one point, Batman even gets her pregnant. Slade! Yeah, Batman slayed some puss.
fucking mucked in her barn.
So, I mean, I wouldn't call it sharing lovers, because that implies like everyone was in on it. But it's like, have they both hooked up with the same person? Yes, in the animated universe. And it's Barbara Gordon, and it's weird.
Mucking in the barn sounds more of like a cream pie situation.
Like a really gross like campfire song. Mucking in the barn, mucking in the barn.
Got my pants around my ankles, mucking in the barn.
Jesus Christ.
All right, next question comes from Dr. DC Resident Neo, who asks, any thoughts on Tom King's Grayson run as a spy?
I really like that run. So
Fucking
that's
Checkmate, right?
no.
Oh no, he was
with Spiral.
Oh, Spiral, that's right.
Which was a spy agency that kind of popped up in Morrison's
That's
run.
right, because that was the trade that I read
of
Yeah,
Batman.
That was Spiral, I remember.
So yes, so he works for Spiral. Now this is after Forever Evil, where he is presumed dead. They kind of keep him quote unquote dead, and Batman sends him undercover into Spiral.
Yeah.
And so he goes by Agent 37, and he has that hypno technology that can like wash out his face so people don't know who he is, and changes his voice and stuff like that. Eventually, I think they use that tech to like mind wipe his secret identity from the world so that he can go back to being Nightwing again, which is where you pick up in that trade I gave you at the start of Rebirth.
Yes.
When he takes back the Nightwing mantle. But yeah, he was Agent 37. The book itself was just called Grayson. He worked for the person at the head of Spiral, she was called Matron, but it's Helena Bertinelli. It's Huntress.
Oh.
She kind of becomes Huntress by the end of it. It's cool. It was a cool book, and it had a great vibe. I love like the Midnighter stuff for like, I'd recognize that accent. Like that shit's very funny to me.
Love that.
It's really cool. Plus, it's like that's a King's sweet spot, right? He's like writing about spies and espionage and stuff like that. Like it was right it came at the right time. It was a cool new thing for Grayson to have, like a sort of different take and a different vibe of a book. And I think it lasted about the right length of time. Like, would I want him to be a spy forever? Not really. But like, however many issues it was only like a couple of years or something like that, maybe. It was like a good chunk of time. You could look back at it and go like, man, that was neat. That was a cool time. And now we're back to Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Next question means we're leaving Reddit and heading on over to the Duckscord.
Duckscord in the Ducks.
Yeah, I should have assumed that was the direction you were going.
Thank God. If I couldn't have even pulled that off,
that would have been bad.
Come on!
Come on! I got you! It's Cappuccino! He's got a great big ass! French flipper!
This whole Gotham's out of order!
Nice.
First
question comes from Mullet Overlord, who asks, Dick's ability to play the guitar was a big part of his character during the Silver and Bronze Age tours with the Titans and his solo college career. Why do you think this aspect has fallen to the wayside?
Yeah, I mean, I think he plays accordion? I think he plays the accordion too.
Really?
Is that a Silver Age thing? I'm trying to remember where I would have seen that. I just have like there's like panels in my head of because that's the sort of thing that stands out. I think he plays the accordion too. I don't know if that was as big a deal as him playing guitar. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's interesting that there was such a consistent personal life detail about Dick that is not necessarily still carried through.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't know that maybe I'm forgetting a very like crucial story. I don't know that I'd call it like important.
Sure.
But it is funny when something lasts a really long time and like it keeps coming up and then it just doesn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can write that off as like, that's also how life works. Like you do something a lot. Like when was the last time you played guitar? Right. Like you could write it off that way. That's probably not what has actually happened. It's just someone forgot or whatever.
Yeah. This Dick could also finger a few licks.
Barn.
Oh no, I just mucked in the barn.
I'm so sorry. I can only think of one relatively contemporary story that actually hinges on Dick Grayson playing the guitar. Which is, they came out with these things called Tales from the Dark Multiverse. And in each one, they would pick like a different event and then say, on this Dark Multiverse Earth, the event goes different.
Okay.
So like Infinite Crisis, Ted Cord doesn't die. Like Blue Beetle doesn't get shot in the head.
Oh, wow.
He kills Max Lord and then he becomes OBAC, like the one Beetle Army Corps kind of thing.
Whoa.
And he becomes this like super sentient thing connected to Brother Eye and he takes over the world. So they were all these kind of like twisted versions of stories. And they were all of event stories. So there was a Crisis one, there was Infinite Crisis, there was a Blackest Night one where Sinestro becomes the Limbo Lantern, where he has a life ring and a death ring.
Whoa.
There's all sorts of... Some of them are kind of neat, actually. One of them was Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal.
Yeah.
So what if in the first Metal event, things went different? And in that one, the like Element X armor that the Justice League wears is corrupted already. It doesn't save them. Barbados takes over. is pulling the multiverse into the dark. And you meet a version of Dick Grayson in that book called The Dragon Slayer, and he has a guitar forged from the remaining like rings of the Lantern Core.
Whoa.
And it's called the Parallax.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't hate that.
And I think he like plays it with like a kryptonite pick, and it like shoots beams and
I mean, it's
and
so
shit.
fucking stupid, and I love it.
It's kind of amazing. But yeah, it's the Parallax.
That's incredible.
And that's Dick Grayson playing guitar as like what he does. Like
that's fucking that rules.
Yeah. It's pretty metal.
Literally.
Which is what you would want.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's
the only thing I can think of that's like a relatively modern story with
that's awesome.
Dick Grayson playing guitar.
Yeah. That's do you want them to bring more guitar back?
Oh, I want them to bring more cowbell. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I'm missing it, but I like the idea of, I mean, Tom Taylor feels like he'd be the writer to do it, which is like find these things that people liked and bring them back. Part of what I think people like in a Nightwing book is not just the acrobatics and the adventures, but it's also like who he is.
Sure, yeah.
So him, like, doesn't have to be a whole issue on it, but you get a panel of him like playing guitar at Bitewing sitting there next to him, like that would be very sweet, and people would go like, he does play guitar.
Yes.
That would be great. That'd be fun.
Love it. Last question comes from Butt Brother Crow.
But brother.
Oh, thank you, Butt Brother.
But brother.
Yeah, Butt Brother.
Yeah, call me Oz. Subscribe on Patreon.
Butt Brother Crow asks, if they were gonna make a Nightwing standalone movie, who would you cast to fill those spandex, and what would the story entail? Who would be a good director for it?
First of all, I'm like 70% sure that there is like a, not like greenlit, but that there's a Nightwing thing in development.
Really? I don't remember.
I could have sworn I saw something, even like an interview where some director was like, we're going to find the right one. Now, I don't know if I just like made that up, or I'm about 70% sure that something Nightwing adjacent is in some stage of development. I think I might have even said it on the last time we did a Dick Grayson episode. I would really like, and I think he'd be good, that Mana Masood, the guy that played Aladdin in the live action Aladdin, Canadian guy.
Yeah.
But I think he's like kind of like fun and charming, and you know, like I think that would be fun. I mean, that guy he's not Romani. If you want to be like authentic, you'd have to find someone like Romani to play Grayson.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But like, so I want to find someone that just seems like fun and charming, and you know, even if they do something like weird or bad, you go like, but they're well intentioned, they're good. And I feel like that's the whole thing with Aladdin, right? Like he makes a bunch of fuck ups, but you're like, but he's good. He'll learn his lesson. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's the thing he does well in that movie, a movie that like criminally does not like really showcase that actor that well.
Yes.
It's the thing he's good at. I'd be into that.
Yeah. What's the like story you would want? Do you want like a newer Nightwing? Do you want an older Nightwing?
I do not want. I've just become Nightwing.
Sure.
I don't just want a movie version of the Titans show.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when you strip the Titans out of it, I don't want that. I think I want like he has been Nightwing for a bit. You know, in Bloodhaven and something like or maybe it's that he has been Nightwing for a bit and he's just moved to Bloodhaven, and so it's just him getting used to a new city or something. But like, I don't think I want him to be new. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as a story, yeah, great. I
like, is there a story you would want adapted?
I don't think there's like a specific one. No.
Sure.
And I also have said this before, is like, I like when comic book movies adapt stories from the comics because that's fun, and why wouldn't you? There's great stories in there. But I also kind of like when they're just like, we have the pieces, we made a story. And I think I'd like that for Nightwing. And you have your pieces, and whether that's Blockbuster or, you know, whoever he's going up against, it'd be neat. I don't want it to be like Tony Zuko, you know, like the person that killed his parent. Like, it can't be that shit. I think it's just got to be, it's got to be something else, something more interesting.
Here's the thing. Is Nightwing as interesting if there's not like the presence of Batman around?
He's more interesting.
Because isn't so much of his thing of just like either a reflection of Batman in some aspects or...
Yes, but not... It doesn't have to be literally. Like, a thing you can like about Nightwing is that he's off on his own adventures, and then when you step back and you look at it and you go like, man, he came from Batman, he's doing it right. But I don't think you need Batman there for him literally to be like, well, you're going left, I'm going right.
Yeah.
I think you could just have a Nightwing adventure and then step back and be like, I like the way he does things versus how over there that guy was doing things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think I wouldn't want Batman. Yeah. I mean, not to say he can't, like, you can't mention Bruce or something. Like, he doesn't have to be like persona non grata, but like, I don't want a cameo. Batman can't be in the movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I liked the sort of thing that was in a later volume, I guess, of that Rebirth run, which is that when he moves to Bloodhaven, he's looking for like a way. He kind of like teams up with this. Like as Dick Grayson, he starts working at this organization that's like it's like an anonymous group, but for like kind of D-list villains that are trying to turn their lives around, sort of thing. And he starts working for them, and it's again, it's like you got to be better than Batman, and it's, you know, these people need another chance and that sort of thing. But it's also him like working like in a community center and things like. I don't know. There's something kind of fun there. And then, you know, crimes are happening and all the eyes are on them. And it's like, no, it's not that, like, he's got to help them out. And I don't know. That if I was trying to adapt an actual specific thing, maybe something like that I would like.
I wouldn't mind something that was like, not him as Batman, but him with like, still like, with Damian. Like, I just want to,
sure,
like, I want to see that relationship,
like a Nightwing and Robin.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, you know who is my Nightwing and Robin in this situation?
Sure, hit me. Yeah.
So Dick is Robbie Amell.
Oh, interesting. All right.
I think he has enough of that like goodness in his eyes, while a little bit of the like.
He seems like a very like a good boy.
But he could also, I feel like he could also be a badass.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
My who I think Damian could potentially be, it'd be a slightly aged up Damian.
Okay.
Not like a little kid Damian that we usually get, but like Timothy Chalamet.
I don't know,
He's got such of that emo, like wearing a suit but being really small thing.
As
like
Damian though?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to leave aside the fact that Timothy Chalamet is the furthest thing from like Middle Eastern.
Yes.
But interesting. That I would not have guessed.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people be like, Timothy Chalamet for Grayson.
No.
I also don't like that. You
know
what I mean?
No.
It's I think it's...
He doesn't have enough of the good in him.
He doesn't have enough of that. I think he doesn't have enough fun. Like,
sure.
I think I can believe Timothy Chalamet is playing a good character. Do I believe that Timothy Chalamet is playing like a character that has fun? Like,
no.
I don't know.
No. Who would direct?
I mean, again, I'm going to just guess that there is not currently a Nightwing project in development.
Whatever, yeah.
Who would direct? A fun Nightwing. Man, that's tricky. Who would be good for that? I mean, it's maybe more serious than he is capable or willing to be, but someone like a Taika Waititi.
Oh, interesting.
That's maybe too far into comedy, though. You know, like, I don't know that I want Nightwing to be like Thor Ragnarok. I like Thor Ragnarok, by the way.
But it doesn't belong.
But I don't... yeah, there's somewhere in between. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's tricky.
Yeah, you want somebody that can like get the depth without it becoming like the darkness without it becoming Batman.
I mean, this guy is top of mind for a bunch of reasons right now.
Yeah.
But I also think it kind of works. It's like Raimi.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah.
think of the tone of those Spider-Man movies and then put Nightwing in there. Like, that works. Like, a little silly, a little fun, a little bit dark and, emotional. Like, those Spider-Man movies are like a weirdly good template for what would make a Nightwing movie work.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I kind of want to see Ryan Johnson do it.
Ooh. I like Ryan Johnson. I mean, yeah, I like Ryan Johnson. I would see that.
Or something really weird like Greta Gerwig or something.
Well, that was the other thing. You could go the other way where it's like, I don't know, pick like a real, like, out there, like, Oscars-y kind of director. And they're
Bo
like,
Burnham.
and they're just like, I just always really liked Nightwing.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You did? Jane Campion?
I mean, if you got like a Grayson that was kind of like Bo Burnham's like alone, like
I don't know. That might be too grim. Interesting.
All right, that was the last question.
Holy shit.
We're at the end, but we're not done yet.
I am.
Oh, okay. Are you giving up?
No.
Well, it's time to play everybody's favorite game
Not yet,
then.
at least.
Time to play. Can you guess the name of the character based on who someone who does not read comic books can describe that character to us? If you don't know how this is played, I send a photo of a character. It's more of an illustration of a character to my wife.
A photo.
I send a photograph.
We hire paparazzo to follow someone around.
Yeah. We capture Batman in the real world.
Yeah, him going to pick up his Duncan.
Yeah, when he's not fighting crime and he's starting to get real. I sent an illustration of a DC character to my wife. She does not read comic books, nor does she care for them.
I just want to make an emotional connection. That's why I'm on Love is Blind this season.
I just want to fuck them emotionally before I fuck them physically. Shake, you're a bad guy.
It's me, Shake Malone. This is a joke for anyone who
Bruce Shake
knows our jokes and also has been watching
Love is Blind
season 2.
Yeah, specifically season 2. All right.
I mean, Shane would be the Joker.
I mean, yeah.
Crazy eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Though he also does have like like big dumb guy energy too.
Right.
Like Solomon Grundy. Like,
yeah, that's true.
it's like a hot Solomon Grundy.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 clues. Are you ready?
Sorry, I'm still fan casting the Love is Blind people as DC characters.
Yeah. Who is Shake's
Deep D?
Deep D.
Talia.
Yeah, there you go.
What a smoke show.
More like Talia al Ghul. Talia al Drool.
There you go.
There it is. You grab the second one in the edit.
I'm doing the edit now?
Yeah.
Wow.
A fully give now. I got a lot going on right now. All right, 4 clues. First clue. Here we go. First clue. Gots to have those golden locks flowing.
Ooh, long blonde hair. Aquaman.
No. Long blonde.
Godiva.
Oh, no. Like the Godiva with Aquaman.
Jesus Christ. Golden locks flowy. Saturn girl.
No.
Okay. Next clue, please.
Next clue. Vampire chic wannabe Green Lantern.
Vampire
Chic.
Oh, I thought you said sheep.
Vampire sheeple. No, vampire chic wannabe Green Lantern.
Like, sorry, this is like a semantics question, but like chic, like CHIC,
yes,
or chic like the Middle Eastern oil barons.
That's an absolutely fair question. CHIC.
Okay. Insane that I have to ask that.
Yes.
Okay.
Want to suck your oil.
Wanna be Green Lantern. I drink it up. Okay. Oh, is it Pariah?
No.
Neron?
No.
Wearing green, long blonde hair.
I don't know.
Wannabe Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Alan Scott.
No.
It's had to
look. It's fair.
Listen, I've been got too many times. Next clue, please.
Next clue. Oh, for ow, hottie alert.
I can't stop blood.
No.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Man, if I got to explain this to you.
You know that famous white blonde milestone character? Idiot. Fucking idiot. Okay. O
for ow, hottie alert.
Green costume.
Yes.
Or wannabe Green Lantern.
Yes.
Vampire chic.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde hair flowing.
That's all right. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, mes amis. And it's not Omen.
No.
It's not. It's not. It's not fire. Can't
Nope.
be fire.
Nope.
It's.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Yeah, is it James Taylor?
It is.
It's not. Oh, he's not blonde. It's not top.
Nope.
It's bottom.
Will be with I'm done.
Oh no, Weather Wizard.
No,
it's not blonde.
Nope.
Idiot. Last clue.
Final clue. 4 clues. This is the 4th. Topography map on the inside of their cape.
Oh, Count Vertigo?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Count Vertigo.
All right.
And that's why I put that as the last clue.
Yeah, there you go.
Count Vertigo, baby.
Count Werner Zeitel.
Yes, baby.
Of Vlatova.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the last bit of this podcast. All we have left to do is ask if you want to get involved with our...
Yeah, do you?
Do you want to get involved?
Do you want to get involved, I guess, is how we're phrasing this part now.
Well, if you want to get involved, doing things like sending questions for future episodes.
I can always tell when you're out of it because of the like insane circuitous route you take to get to things we say weekly. Things we've been saying for 4 years that you're just like, but when
mixing it up,
instead of being like, and you can send us questions, when you're tired, you'll go, and if there's a query in your mind that you have to express to us, you can deliver unto the ether those inquiries too. It's like your brain is stalling for no one. Like you could just
read what's on the thing in front
but
of
you're
me.
like your brain's like, no, fam, I'll figure it out. Buy me some time.
It's too deep. We're too deep now. We can't go into the page.
Stall him.
Yeah. Let's talk a lot about the thing we're trying to say. We'll find our way there. It's like the Michael Scott thing where when they ask him like, how do you do it? How are you so successful? And he goes, well, For me, there's one thing, and for no reason, at any time, in any way, that
Yeah, it's exactly that. I love that so much. But yeah, you go to the trouble of writing stuff, but you're like, no, I'm too tired for this.
I can't barely see the page.
My God.
You can reach us through our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our email,
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
our Reddit.
r/Dr_DC.
The doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
That's 28917 DCU.
Come on!
No!
I called you!
I called you! If you're nasty. We got a TikTok because we're young and cool.
At Dr. DC.
We have a website because we're old.
DrDC podcast.com or .ca. By the way, if you're contacting us in all of these spots, next week's episode,
Oh my God.
it's all about Westerns, baby.
Howdy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to give you the power of the dog.
Oh my God. Yeah. Actually, I'm very pro power of the dog now after that interview.
Yeah, weird interview. weird moment.
I don't know why anybody's surprised that this is how
Oh,
I
sorry,
feel.
that one. I meant there's a weird kind of like, yes. After the Sam Elliott interview, very pro power of the
Yes.
dog. After the weird Jane Campion moment
Oh.
where she
What'd she do?
she won an award at something
Yeah.
for Power of the Dog.
Sure.
And she went up and she was like, Venus and Serena Williams, you two are amazing, but you don't compete against the men like I do. And it was like,
What?
Why are we putting down successful black women?
Yeah, what?
Why are we diminishing their success? She was like, Jane's point was like, in directors, it's men and women, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of like, oh, did Jane Campion just lose me a little bit?
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to give us a 5-star review like we got in the beginning of this episode, that would be nice. You should do that.
Yep. If you have a number of stars that's more than 4 and less than 6, and you have them textually to deliver to us, think of the spots you can do it, including, but not limited to.
Can I just tell you something? You've never been more concise.
You've never been?
You've never been more concise.
I'm always concise. Did you just pass out a little?
My eyes were open.
Kind of.
That doesn't matter. Why don't you send us some physical mail?
301 Hogue Street. That's Hoge Street in Whitehorse.
Look at the size I'm looking at this.
Oh my God. Y1A1V8. That is like octogenarian teleprompter size font.
That's how I can see it.
Is it always that big or just because you're tired
No,
today?
it's just because I'm tired.
That is outrageous. That's like 96 point font.
It's perfect. We got a Patreon. Why don't you subscribe if you want to hear more about Batman?
Come on.
Come on.
It'll basically just be more of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that.
Patreon.com/DrDC. There are 3 different levels, $1, $5, $7. They all give you access to the Docscord, our awesome fan community, our Discord server. At the higher levels, you get bonus episodes, you get videos, you get theme pools, all sorts of fun stuff. And it helps to support us.
But the place where you really want to bring that support is to our other podcast.
Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch. You know what, Richard? You tell them about it.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
What's it about?
You
Keep it short, though.
You left me the hardest part.
Listen, I've already told them what it's called. All you have to do is tell them what it is. Keep it short, though, because we're running out of time. So say it, but say it quick and make sure all the info's in there. Quick and all the info.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Quick and all the info. Here we go. Okay, sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quick and all the info.
Supernatural is a TV show that we rewatch every week and talk about what happened in the episode and our feelings about it, and some real world lore and some behind the scenes stuff, and international titles is a thing we do too. Nailed it.
Oh, honey.
I'm very tired.
Adios.
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.